Hello everyone, welcome back to my AG Coding YouTube channel. I'm very happy to see you, and today is the last day of learning JavaScript basics. If you're ready, let's get started. Today is the last day, and in this video we are going to recover or review our all learnings from the first day until now. And we'll be doing 3 projects. The first project I wanted to show you after this overview of the final project. So we're going to build a mini project, and this reinforces JavaScript fundamentals like DOM manipulation, events, loops, and functions. And it helps to understand the real-world problem-solving skills, and it prepares for larger web applications. So in this video we're going to use some key skills. So the first one is DOM manipulation like query selector, get element, inner text like document object modeling. And the next one is event handling, which is the event listener, and function and loops, conditionals, arrays, and objects. Okay, so let's continue with the first project. The first project we are going to do is a to-do list app. So how is this to-do list app we're going to make? We're not going to write the CSS because it may take much time, but we'll be writing HTML and JavaScript and its functionality, how we can do this. So what is to-do app? I want to say something about to-do app in order to understand better. So to-do app, we are going to make like the app which you can add your to-dos, daily to-dos, like adding tasks, as you can see here the features, removing the tasks, and marking the tasks as completed. Okay, let's go and dive into Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I have created 3 folders, as you can see: calculator, guessing, and to-do app. And I'm going to open the first one because the other 2 projects we are going to do after that. So I'm going to open the to-do app application HTML, and also let's create a new structure of the HTML. Then I'm going to open to the app.js. Okay, now we'll be writing the to-do app HTML first and then JavaScript. Okay, first what we need input for this. So I'll be writing here input, and the type should be text, and I'm going to give an ID for that, which is called task input, with this one. And the next thing we need is we can also give a placeholder called enter a task, right? And let's make it smaller. Then we can give a button for that in order to submit, and we can write add, and we can give an ID for this, also called add task. Okay, and the last thing we need UL, which is unordered list, because in order to show or appear the to-dos that is added by the user, and I will write an ID for that, which is called task list. Okay, now we have already created these 3 main HTML tags because we need them, and also I have to connect my JavaScript file. So I need to connect my JavaScript file under the body script source, so to do app.js. So now we have it, and now we'll be writing the JavaScript code. So first of all, we need to get the add task button using a DOM manipulation of the get element by ID. So write document dot get element by ID, and I will write add task, right? Add task. Then I think a task is the button, yeah, and we'll be putting dot a at the event listener, and we give for this, let's make it this kinda, click, and then we'll be writing function and square brackets. And inside of our function, we are going to open a new variable called task text, and I'll be getting an element of the task input, document dot get element by ID. So I need to write in the string task input, right, and dot value. So this helps to take the value of the input. So if the user gives any input, any values to the input, it will be saved in the task variable. Okay, and the next thing, so we can write some if conditional statements for this. So I'll be writing if our task text, so we can use trim in order to cut it, right? And if it is not equal to string, which is the empty string, right? If it's not an empty string, so if there is some kind of values inside of that, so we'll be writing lat li, which is the lists of our document. We can write document and dot create element, which is a li. So with this using create element, we are creating a new li HTML tag. And after that, we'll be writing li dot inner text equals to task text, because here what we are doing, if the task text, so the value of the input is not equal to an empty string, so we're creating a new list and we're saving that value inside of this list. You understand, right? And the next thing, we are calling li dot add event listener, and we'll be using click again for that. And here, so I'll be writing function, yep, and in this function what we're going to do, I'm going to toggle, so I'll write li dot class list dot toggle, and I'll be writing completed. Let's write down completed. Okay, so now we have a toggle in order to, if it's marked as completed, so if the user clicks, it will be completed. And then let's go out from the thing, which is a function, right? And then we're going to write here document dot get element by ID. So we are going to take the ID task list, and we have to append to the child of the li. So we have a task list which is UL, and we are putting this li inside of our task list. So it's being inside of a UL. And after that, we are going to write here document dot get element by ID, which is a task input, dot value should be empty. So after it's cleared, it should be empty. Okay, so I hope this works. Let's check it out. So I'm going to open in the live server and we will be seeing. So let's wait a few seconds. So we have this kind of simple to-do app. So I'm going to write here, enter a task. For example, I'm going to add my task. For example, wake up 6 a.m. right? I am. And if I press add, as you can see with like a UL, it's being added, wake up 6 a.m. If I click on this, so let's make I think clicking is not working fine as we expected, so we have to add a completed class actually in order to make it as completed. So we can do this here. So I'm going to open after the head style, and I'm going to write completed like this. So let's add something, right? And if I click on this, as you can see, it's being completed. So also I wanted to add for the Lee as cursor pointer, so it will be much more beautiful, right? If I click on this, it's being completed. And as you can see, we have added some features: adding tasks, removing tasks, and marking as completed. So now this is working fine. Okay, this is a simple to-do app, and we used some JavaScript logic. And this is simple logic. You can update, you can do some CSS designs for that, you can add some more enhancements. So I hope you enjoyed about doing the to-do app. So let's continue with our second project. Our second project, we're going to create a simple calculator which performs basic arithmetics like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And it displays results dynamically. Okay, let's close this one, and I'm going to close this and this, and I'm going to open a calculator HTML. So I will create a simple structure and calculator JavaScript. Okay, here I'm going to first connect my JavaScript file to the calc.js, and I'm going to write the HTML first. So in the simple calculator, we need inputs for that. So we need input and select tags, which gives an options plus minus like that, and also input and button and the paragraph. Okay, so let's write down h1 in calculator. Yep. So and then I will be writing input, which is the type should be number, not text. And then we can add ID num1, maybe, yep, num1, and we are going to open a select in order to write the options. So I'll write operator, and inside of our select I will be writing option. So each option value should be the same as its value, and I'm going to just copy paste. So 4 times, and we need minus, we need multiplication, so minus, and multiplication, and division, and same as the values, minus, multiplication, and then division. So now this is working fine. And then next thing, we need to open an input, new one, which is also the type should be number in order to write the second number, right, to make operator works. And I will write num2 for that. And the last thing, also button, and I'm going to write equal sign, maybe, yeah, so equal sign. And I'm going to give an ID for that, so we can write calculate for this, calculate, and we need also the result, so we need simple paragraph for that. So I will give an ID called result, and it will be result. Okay, now we have written the main structure of our HTML. So now let's go dive into our JavaScript. So I'm going to call the calculate first. So document dot get element by ID, and I will be writing calculate. Yep. And then I'm going to write here add event listener, click function curly braces, and then inside of our function I'm going to write let num1, which is equal to document. Maybe first we have to parse it first, yep, in order not to get their remainders. So write document dot get element by id, which is num1. I think I need to put this one to get element by id with this. So let's make it smaller, yep, and dot value should be in order to take its value. And the second thing is num2. We are going to write same as this for num2. So I'm just going to change its values to num2. So the next thing is operators. I'll be writing here let operator equal to document get element by id operator dot value. This is yes, this suggestion is correct. Okay, and the next thing is we need a result for that. Result, which is empty, we can give as an undefined. And now we'll be writing with switch. I love switch case. So switch, and I will write operator. Oh, this is giving amazing. This is a copilot. I'm just going to explain how this is working actually. So we have a case and we are calling the result and we are writing their cases regarding them. So this is correct option. So we are writing case plus minus multiplication and division, and we're equalizing the result num1 plus num2 to this case, num1 minus num2 to this case, and for the multiplication also this one. So the same, and so this is working fine. And also we have to make this much more beautiful. So after, for the division, so we have a case, this one, and we'll be equalizing result is equal to num2. Okay, we can write like this. Give me this one. So let's delete this for now. Now we'll write result, which is equal to num2 is not equal to 0. Yep, we are using ternary operator here. Num1 is all divided by num2, then else it should be cannot divide by 0. So in this case, what we are writing here, I'm going to explain. So in this case, if the num2 is not equal to 0, it means num1 and num2 should be divided. If it's not, it will be it should display cannot divide by 0. So it will be getting an error. So the next thing after getting out of the switch, okay, we can also add default. We'll be writing here document dot get element by id the result dot inner html, which is equal to result. So we have to write not inner html, we can write inner text, and then let's put here result plus result. Okay, so let's check it out. I hope this works. I'm going to open in the live server our calc.html, and we'll be seeing the result. So as you can see, we have two inputs in order to put their inputs, and we have plus minus multiplication division. Okay, let's add 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. This is working fine. If I make it minus minus, and if I press it 0, if I make it multiplication, it's giving it 25. Okay, if I make it, yep, this is working fine. Okay, if I do it like this, we're getting the same. So this is working fine. Our calculator project 2. So I'm just going to give a fast explanation for that. So we are creating input for the first number, and for the second number we're creating another input, and we're writing the operators in the select in HTML, and we're giving a button in order to calculate the performance of the two numbers, and we have an p tag which shows the result. In the calc JavaScript, we are getting the button, and to the button we are adding, when it's collect num1 and num2 should be parse float. We are using the method of the parse float in JavaScript, and we are getting the values of the num1 and num2 regarding the inputs. So if it's 50, it's getting 50. If it's 5, it's getting 5. And we have an operator, and we are using the operator by the value. So if the user chooses this one, so it will be chosen by the value of this one. And then we are giving a result. So regarding the result, we are using the switch operator. Switch case, and in the switch case we are checking the operator. If the operator is like this, so if the operator is plus, we are giving num1 is plus to num2, so we are getting the value of the num1, which is this one, and num2, which is this one. So this is working fine and without any errors. So I think you understand about the switch case also. So let's dive into the third one. The third one is much more interesting, which is the guessing the number. I'm just going to close, and I'm just going to introduce somehow. So number guessing game. This is amazing, and you can create also by yourself. So if you want, you can stop this now, and then you can try. And then if you cannot, you can watch, and then you can get the solution. So in this number guessing game, we are generate a random number. So how we can generate a random number? It's easy to do in JavaScript, and which allow user guesses, and we provide also feedbacks. If it's, for example, if regarding the random number is 20, and if the user gives 10, we say this is too low. If user gives 30, if we say too high. So like this. So let's dive into the Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'm going to open the basic HTML structure, so I created, and then now I'm going to connect as usual the script tag for our guessing.js, and we are going to start with writing the HTML. Okay, I'm going to write here guess the number, the number, yep, and then okay, we can give, for example, 1 to 10. Okay, we are going to create like this, 1 to 10, right? Then I'm going to put an input for the user in order to give the guess, and the text the type should be number. And I will I'm going to give an ID for that guess, right? And then next thing, we can create a button in order to check it, and I will write check, and I will give an ID for that called check, right? Then we need a feedback for the user. If it's correct, we say this is correct. If it's too low, we will say too low. If it's too high, we will say too high. So I will write ID called feedback. Okay, so this is our simple HTML, and now we'll go to the JavaScript coding. So first of all, we need to generate a random number for the user. So we are going to write let random number, and in order to generate random number, we use mathfloor, or with mathfloor, mathrandom. So let's use this. For example, if it's decimal number, it will go to the floor. If it's 4.3, it will be 4. 2.2 would be 2, like that. Okay, so that we are using also mathfloor. So we are writing math dot floor, and we're writing inside math.random. Yep, instead of our math random, we will calculating by 10. It will be 1 to 10 plus 1. Okay, so this generates a random number, so we can also see the console. So next thing, I need to get the check element. So write document.get element by ID, which is check, and I will put add event listener for that, and I use as usual click for this. And let's create a function for that function with the square brackets and curly braces. And now I'm going to write let user guess. So I need to get the user guess value. So I'll write document dot get element by ID, and also we can first of all parse it. So I'm going to write parse to the integer. So if it's a decimal number, it will be parsing to the integer, and I'm writing document dot get element by ID, and I'll get the gas. Yep. And now I need to get its value actually. So we are getting the value of the user, and next thing we have to check it. So if user guess is equal to random number, so if it's correct, we are going to print document dot get element by ID, which is our feedback, right? Feedback, and let's make it smaller. And I'm not going to write HTML, definitely inner text. You can use inner HTML also. And we are saying congratulations, you guessed the right number. Okay, this is fine for us. And the next thing is we need to check if it's not correct, what will happen. So if user guess is less than random number, we are again getting the feedback first, and we are writing too low, try again. So we have to write too low. Okay. I think I deleted something. User get, if the user get is a random number. I'm just going to write too low, not like this. Okay. And the next thing, if it's not, so we are just giving this one too high. So now this is working fine, I hope so. And now this is our main structure. Now we can check the guessing the number. Let's open our live server and let's see this. Okay, it's saying guess the number 1 to 10. I'm going to write 5. So I think we're not getting the result. Okay, I think something went wrong. I'm going to recheck it. So we have a random number, and we're getting the feedback from the, I think I wrote feedback correctly. Yes, sure, we're writing the feedback correctly. Okay, and we're writing if else statement also correctly. Let's recheck it for the Copilot. Maybe he can help to us. Okay, accept, something went wrong, I hope so. Nothing is wrong actually. Right, 2. Okay, let's check our console also. Add event listener, okay. Cannot read the properties of null reading add event listener. So we have a problem from a listener. Let's recheck it again. But this should work. If I click again, upload. So we are getting this one. Aha. So we made a mistake, I think, somewhere. This is amazing actually. So it's creating with DOM content loaded. Okay, this is also fine for us. Okay, let's accept and let's see. Okay, let's check it. So same error. Okay. We don't need actually DOM content loaded. So this is a tricky thing actually for you. So I'm going to just explain why it's not working at the event listener here. So the event listener is the DOM manipulation of the JavaScript, which helps to us to check the number by clicking that. But this is not working fine as we expected because of type error, and we are not using TypeScript, we are using JavaScript here. And in this situation, what we need to do, so it's saying cannot read the properties of null reading add event listener. Okay, so in this situation, you can do like this. Copy. Okay, I hope now this works. This is saying too high. Okay, maybe 1. Too low, it means 2. Yes, we find the number. So we can write, for example, next 4 is too high. Okay, let's reload first. Okay, let's down 4. That's high. 2. Again, it's giving 2. Let's reload this. 66 high. 6 is fine. Yeah, you can do this also. So I hope you enjoyed this one and you learned something new. So I wanted to say some best practice for writing code, so we can follow these best practices when coding. So use comments to explain each section. So I gave an explanation fast-paced one, and you can also write comments in order to explain to your friends when they see your code. The next thing is keep code modular. So use functions to organize the logic. Functions are most necessary in JavaScript. And use meaningful names. So while you are writing or giving the variable name, you have to give a clear and meaningful name, and function names too. And handle edge cases. For example, what if the user inputs nothing? So you have to think also other things too. And keep it interactive. Give feedback to the user too. So I'm going to challenge you and complete and document your project. This is a task. Pick one of the projects and fully implement it. Add comments explaining each part of your code. And bonus challenge, improve the project by adding a new feature, for example, storing tasks in local storage for to-do list, for example, right? Regarding these 3 projects, you can update them and style it with CSS for a better user experience. And final thoughts, as you know how the foundation to build JavaScript applications, right? And you have practiced it and you have much more experiment now, and you can improve your project. And next step, we are going to learn in next hour video playlists exploring the APIs, local storage, and framework like React. I hope you enjoyed this JavaScript 10 days of our playlist. If you have any questions, just comment below and wait for our next playlists too. See you in the next playlists.